IDF soldiers got busted again for defiling Christian symbols in Lebanon. You know, the country that they've been annexing the southern portion of, the country that they've been destroying dozens of villages in, the country that they just bombed the capital of. Beirut was bombed today by the Israelis. Anyway, the following image was posted by Israel Genocide Tracker on X, and it shows, well, you see what it shows. It shows the, I believe, Virgin Mary, and an IDF soldier is holding a cigarette to her mouth while he has a cigarette in his own mouth. The post caption reads as follows, by the way: Israel does not and will never hold its soldiers accountable. This is why they will continue to disrespect religious statues and post themselves doing so. Mother Mary statue in southern Lebanon posted today. Okay, well, obviously this isn't new. In fact, this comes on the heels of a different Christian controversy, because just weeks ago we covered a similar story out of southern Lebanon, having to do with the image that you see on your screens right now. You're looking at an IDF soldier taking an axe to a statue of Jesus Christ. The image went viral, and both the IDF and the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, condemned the soldier. So in that case, there was an investigation, and then we did get an update, which is rare, indicating that the soldier is being punished. Okay, but Netanyahu hasn't been doing Israel any favors when it comes to his country's public relations, especially with the Christian community. We got to be very clear about that. Because in March, Netanyahu took a shot at none other than, oh, it's interesting, Jesus Christ himself. Let's take a look.
Also wrote The Lessons of History, very brief, 100-page book, in which he said, well, history proves that, unfortunately and unhappily, Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan. Because if you are strong enough, ruthless enough, powerful enough, evil will overcome good.
Oh, we are very aware about how easily evil overcomes good. In fact, Netanyahu himself knows from personal experience how evil tends to overcome good, which is a shame in the short term, but karma catches up to everybody. Anyway, now, about a week after the Jesus statue controversy took place, Netanyahu posted a video featuring Christian IDF soldiers. Now I do that because, well, I mean, look, you're gonna take a look at the image and you'll understand why I'm doing the scare quotes. Take a look.
I'm here in the Prime Minister's office with an extraordinary group of young men and women. These are Christian soldiers, men and women, in the Israeli Defense Forces. They field all the important positions in our incredible military, and they do incredible work. This is completely contrary to what is presented outside. It's not only that that Israel fights for the rights of Christians around the Middle East, but that Israel has Christian soldiers who fight for the defense of Israel and for our Christian brethren throughout the area, throughout the region, and beyond.
We're not the ones who blurred out the soldiers' faces. We didn't alter the video in any way. Why are their faces blurred? Is it so no one can fact check whether they're Christian soldiers? Now look, there might be some Christian Zionist soldiers, who knows? I mean, you know, people who have Mike Huckabee's like cult beliefs about Israel. Yeah, I mean, I don't deny it. But these people, they value Israel because of their crazy prophecy fantasies more than like Jesus Christ himself. Like it's weird, I don't know. It's like a form of Christianity that makes no sense to me. And it's because it's made up. I mean, it's just a weird interpretation of the Bible and what the Israelites are or who the Israelites are. But anyway, nonetheless, the point here is whether there are Christian soldiers fighting in the IDF or not, it doesn't matter. What matters is the culture, the current culture within Israel that makes it okay, or at least makes multiple IDF soldiers think it's okay to defile religious symbols like this. They have no respect for human beings or the religious beliefs of others at all. They don't see these individuals as human. They don't see these religions as religions of merit at all, right? And so they don't care. It's just, who cares? It's a Mother Mary statue. Let's defile it. It's the Jesus Christ statue. Let's crush his head. It's nuts. Okay, so it's worth noting that Netanyahu, by the way, was speaking in English and not Hebrew. And that's what he does when he's trying to engage in Hasbara aimed at the American people. But you should hear his speeches in Hebrew and translate them, because that's when he shows you who he really is. Anyway, the other thing is, okay, there are the statues that keep getting defiled by IDF soldiers. They keep getting caught doing that. And when I say get caught doing that, it's because they literally post images of themselves doing it. But make no mistake about it, Christians are also being attacked in Israel. Again and again and again, and it goes beyond spitting. So what's it like being a Christian in Israel, really? Not great for a nun that was viciously attacked last week. Here's the footage, by the way. I'll explain what you're looking at. So you see a man running up to the nun, she's walking, comes up from behind her, pushes her to the ground, okay? An older woman, a nun, simply walking alone, gets a surprise attack from an Israeli man. Look at him, look at him. He's kicking her now. And people run to aid her, and he starts pushing those who are trying to help her out. These people are terrorists. Okay, that man is a disgusting, hateful terrorist. But we're supposed to pretend like he's not because he's a citizen of Israel? Oh, Israelis can't be terrorists? No, Israelis are terrorists. That guy is a terrorist. Specifically targeting a nun because she's a nun. By the way, these people are such disgusting cowards. Imagine feeling good about yourself, running up from behind and shoving an older woman, a nun, to the ground and then kicking her. And it's not an isolated incident either. The Rossing Center, a Jerusalem-based association for interreligious dialogue, has documented growing harassment of Christians in Israel and East Jerusalem, according to a study released in March. By the way, this was a report published by the AFP and the Times of Israel, which is in no way a peace-loving publication like Haaretz. Haaretz is an Israeli publication as well. Times of Israel tends to be more in line with the hardliners in Israel, right? Which at this point is 80% of them. Throughout 2025, it recorded 61 physical attacks, including spitting, the use of pepper spray, and blows. It also recorded, and not the Laurel Loomer type blows, it also recorded 28 cases of verbal harassment and 52 cases of defacement of church property. A British priest who preferred to remain anonymous for obvious reasons, said that the incidents occurred daily. He never went out without his black robes and was invariably met with spitting or shouts of "go home" in his direction. He is home, actually. Noah Landau, who is the global director of Haaretz, wrote about Israel's growing rift with Christianity in a recent piece. She explains that for many years, Benjamin Netanyahu, with the help of a well-oiled machine of organizations, donors, and advisors, oversaw the formation of an artificial alliance between the Christian right, mainly though not exclusively in the United States, and the Jewish right. Creating this unholy alliance was a complex roundabout task, because at its theological foundation lies an unpleasant truth. The evangelicals seek the fulfillment of the apocalyptic prophecy in which Israel and the Jewish infidels burn in hell in the war at Armageddon. Do you know how many times Cenk has been smeared simply for relaying the same information on this show? It's just the truth. This is what it is. She continues, while the Jewish right, especially its very religious precincts, willfully turn a blind eye to the second part of the prophecy in order to exploit Christians' enthusiastic support for its first part. The main victims of these religious politics were the Palestinians, among whom there is, ironically, an actual Christian population. Over the past 2 years, we have seen the collapse of this alliance of extremists. First, the American Christian right began to question it ever more vociferously. Good. While in Israel, the religious Zionist political parties, which have become very powerful thanks to the type of governing coalition formed by Netanyahu, have been venting their restrained anger with its deep, complex and bloody historical theological roots, with actual violence against Christianity and Christians. And the ugly truth has been bubbling and spilling over from the boiling cauldron of the Middle East. Excellent piece, and it's expressing the reality of this Judeo-Christian alliance. It makes no sense when it comes to theology, but people have been hoodwinked into thinking you ain't getting into heaven unless you bless Israel, meaning whatever government is governing Israel, whatever Israel is carrying out across the Middle East, you just gotta support it or else you're not gonna get into heaven. And think about how potent that message is if you're an evangelical Christian who's in church all the time. Disastrous. Israel has spent a lot of money, brainwashing a lot of people of faith, working with all sorts of charlatan priests who visit Israel, go to these conferences, get their talking points, and then proceed to brainwash their parishioners into supporting a country that's slaughtering children. That's the reality. So, there is no respect for Christianity. You think they were gonna stop at Muslims? Come on. This is a supremacist ideology. Doesn't mean that Judaism is a supremacist ideology, it is not. That is a religion. But the ideology of Zionism, which is at the foundation of this Judeo-Christian BS, that's the problem here. That's where the supremacy comes from. That gives people the idea that it's okay to go after people of faith, of any faith. It's wrong if a Jewish person of faith is being violently targeted. It's wrong if a Muslim person of faith is being violently targeted. And it's wrong if it happens to Christians as well. And if you are a fair, honest, good faith actor, you would acknowledge that and you would live by that rule. You're not seeing that in Israel. The only time you see any action from the Israeli government is when there's enough outrage here in the United States. So be outraged because they deserve it.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.